Howdy folks, thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome to the channel, glad you're here. Yeah, I know, back when I did the Squier Affinity HSS Strat, I said, I showed a quick peek at this guitar and said I'd be doing a video. Well, today's your lucky day. I'm finally getting around to doing that. We're going to check out the Squier Affinity Telecaster. You can see it's a nice, beautiful Lake Placid blue. So yeah, I'm going to take a look at that. Now, I bought this at the same time that I bought the Stratocaster. And if you saw the video, you know that it did have some quality control issues. Other than that, it played fine, and it, you know, it needed some work. Actually, it needs some work, but I'm going to do some other things to it down the road. Hopefully going to get to that real soon. Anyway, but let's see if this guitar suffers from any of those same issues. And I know not every example of these affinities are going to be or have issues. Some of them, many of them, most of them, from what I can tell, come out just fine. That particular one, though, as I said in the video, must have slipped through the QC cracks. So, but let's go ahead and check out this Telecaster, and we'll start with the specs. This Squier Affinity Telecaster has a poplar body with a Lake Placid blue finish. However, it does come in a variety of other finishes. The C-shaped bolt-on neck is maple with a walnut skunk stripe. The fretboard is Indian laurel with dot inlays, 21 frets, a synthetic bone nut, and has a 25.5-inch scale length and a 9.5-inch radius. The die-cast tuners are old-school split-head style safety tuners. The hardware is chrome with knurled metal volume and tone knobs and a string-through bridge with flock-style saddles. There is also a 4-bolt neck plate. There are traditional style Tele pickups in both the bridge and neck position and are controlled by a 3-way blade switch. Alright, there you have it. Those are the specs, at least most of them. A couple other little things I'll touch on in a moment, but let's go ahead and see what the pickups sound like. Using the PRS-MT15, blue channel is clean, red channel is dirty, nothing else, no pedals or anything, and using an SM57, and I've got a blue Spark mic condenser sitting back here. I'm just trying to get the closest to what I hear in the room. Hopefully that will translate for you. Let's go ahead and check out the bridge pickup clean. All right, middle pickup. Alright, kind of muffed that a little bit, didn't I? Onto the neck pickup. Alright, let's check out the tone knob. Let's start back again with the bridge pickup and just get an idea of what the tone knob does. That's all the way back. All right, on to the middle position. and in the neck position. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the red channel, get some dirt on these pickups. That was the bridge, middle position. Guitar sounds pretty good. Of course, keeping in mind this is an entry-level guitar, maybe not quite as much so as, say, the Squier Bullet, but nevertheless, it is an entry-level guitar. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I want to go ahead and just give you my pros and cons with the guitar. There's, I don't know, a couple of things. Certain things to upgrade, to consider upgrading. I will say this, definitely a better experience than I had with the Stratocaster, the HSS Strat. So, as far as this particular guitar, I have to say much better experience than with the Strat. But let's talk about it just a little bit. First off, I want to mention that there are differences between this guitar and a Fender Telecaster in that the thickness of the body is different. I did put a caliper on, and I'll put up here on the screen so you can see what the differences are. But definitely a thinner body. Of course, it does have the comfort cuts here that you won't find on a traditional Telecaster, and actually I kind of find it very nice. But I suppose because of the thinner body and such, it definitely doesn't also have the weight issues. I've played a lot of Telecasters that are pretty heavy guitars. This comes in at about 7.5 pounds. It's nice and light. It's very comfortable when you put a strap on it and are playing it with a strap. The neck feels really good. No issues with this neck. And in fact, it's kind of a pretty neck. I'll see if I can't show it over here. Maybe you can see. If not, I'll put a photo up of it. It has some bird's eye in it. There's some bird's eye. Not so much flame, but yeah, there's a little flame, very slightly noticeable, but it actually is a pretty good looking neck, and it's a comfortable neck. Fret ends feel really good. I may have to level out one or two of them. However, overall, they did a good job on the fretwork. The tuners, haven't had any problems at all with the tuners. I like the open slot tuners, safety tuners, I believe is the actual name of what they're supposed to be called. Traditional, my computer. Anyway, yeah, it's, they're giving me no issues. The guitar holds tune really well. The nut is cut really well. No issues there. It's synthetic. It's, you know, if you ever got the hankering to upgrade to a bone nut. It's certainly going to make the guitar better, but again, is it really worth doing it on a $200 guitar when the nut that's here is doing a great job? So that said, overall, it's a fun guitar to play, and I have to say, I have played the crap out of this guitar quite a bit, and that's saying something considering I haven't even done a setup on it yet. I've been waiting to do this video before I change anything about it. So the action's a little high. I can fix that, no problem. There's a little bit of bowing to the neck. I say bowing, it's just slight, maybe a little more than a quarter turn of the truss rod's going to straighten it out just fine. Yeah, the pickups, they're not bad, but they're ceramic. I'm gonna go for Alnico anytime. I just prefer the way Alnico pickups sound. But the ceramic magnets, they do an okay job. They're pretty standard for what you would expect out of a lower priced ceramic pickup. I have to say, they're not the first thing that I would choose to upgrade on this guitar. That I would probably reserve for the selector switch. It can be a little crunchy at times. You know, if you sit there and do this a while, it works the crunch out of it. But overall, I mean, it doesn't feel like the cheapest selector switch I've ever felt. It's just not the best. That would probably be the first thing I would choose to upgrade on the guitar. The pots, they're you know, it's not like you've got a higher end CTS full-size pots here, but you know, they're not bad. Nothing special, nothing horrible about them. I haven't had any issues. I think overall, I like this guitar a lot. I've been enjoying playing it. I'm looking forward to going ahead and doing the setup on it, just to see, you know, how much better I enjoy playing it. I also want to point out the fretboard, the Indian Laurel. I like it's nice and dark. It's way better than Palfaro. Again, Fender, what are you doing? Let's forget about this whole Palfaro mistake. Palfaro, I just hate the way they look. They're terrible. It's kind of that mocha, that light brown. I don't like it. I like nice dark rosewood or ebony. I like ebony fretboards. One thing to note, I don't know if I can get in there good enough without blocking all the light, but it's a fairly thin slab of Indian Laurel. A lot of my rosewood fretboards, generally a higher end guitar is going to have a little thicker slab of rosewood there, but overall, I mean, it doesn't look bad. Everything looks good about the guitar. I love the you know, I'm a sucker for blue guitars. I just am. Overall, I don't have a whole lot of cons about the guitar. Yes, eventually I will upgrade the pickups on here. I certainly am going to upgrade the selector switch. Who knows? Maybe all of the electronics, but for right now, they work just fine. It's a good guitar. I'm gonna put it this way. If I were to advise anybody just starting out, beginning, just learning to play guitar for your first guitar, this is the one I would recommend. I absolutely, right at the $200 price range, I believe that's where they still are. I'm sure that's what I paid for this. Yeah, this is absolutely the guitar that I would recommend that you start out with. Not to badmouth the bullets, which are definitely less expensive, but I would just go ahead. This out of the box is perfect for any beginner. I should also mention, It does come strung up with 9s. I'm used to 10s, but it feels good on here. And of course, with the 25.5-inch scale length, that probably is a smart move, putting the thinner strings on here. I have to tell you, I was at Guitar Center just yesterday, and there was a Squier, I believe it was 40th anniversary custom Squier. It was a beautiful guitar. It had binding. It was black. It had binding. Very, very nice looking guitar. I picked it up and played it, and it felt like it had rebar on the string. It was very difficult to play. I sat it back down, and honestly, it felt like it had 11s on it, on a Telecaster, which I'm not that dexterous where I don't have the finger strength to muscle that. But not sure exactly what they were, but it wasn't a fun experience. This guitar, however, has been a pleasure to play. As far as any other cons, I'm having a hard time, really thinking of what they are. For the price range, for what this guitar actually is, I don't think you can ask for a whole lot more than what this is. It sounds good. Like I said, the pickups aren't the greatest in the world, but it has that Tele twang when you want it. The neck pickup sounds nice. Maybe not quite as, what do I want to call it? Not smooth, buttery, you know that Tele pickup sound, that Tele neck pickup sound. I don't know. It's not bad, but you can definitely do better. And if you buy this guitar as a beginner, as you progress in your playing, this is a great platform to do upgrades to, rather than going out and buying a much more expensive guitar. Just buy you a set of pickups. Replace electronics as you need to if you want to upgrade. Certainly the switch, like I said, that the switch to me seems to be the weak point in most any cheap budget guitar. A lot of times they really do cheap out when it comes to the pickup selector switch. So I think that's really all I have to say. Not a whole lot of cons about this guitar as compared to the Strat, the HSS Strat, certainly, but just on its own, no real huge complaints. I like the guitar. Definitely worth every penny I paid for it. I'm going to go ahead and cut everything off here. First off, I would really like to encourage you to, well, let's do what the sign says. Do right there. It says it. Please subscribe and like. Give me that thumbs up. Everything helps. The almighty algorithm. You got to keep it happy. You got to feed the algorithm. So I'll leave it off there. Come on. Let's be good. Let's all just be good. Take care.